Hare Krishna. Work don't carry workload. Often we all have to do a lot of work. Now work itself is unavoidable. Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gita in the 3rd chapter, Nyatam kuru karmatvam karma jyayo ya karmana sharira yatra pichite na prasiddheda karmana. He says, Nyatam kuru karmatvam, do your prescribed work, O Arjuna. Nyatam kuru karmatvam karma jyayo ya karmana. Better than akarma, better than inaction is action, karma. Sharira yatra pichate, that the journey in the body is impossible. Na prasiddhi akarmana. Without work, we cannot live in this world. So we cannot maintain our body. So work is essential for sustenance. At the same time, the problem often is not work, but workload. When we have to do something, and when we especially don't like to do it, at that time, that negative attitude towards the work, that resentment towards the work, that becomes a huge burden, and that chokes and drains our energy. So the problem is quite often not the work. The work itself is not the problem. When it appears to be like when we resent it, when we become, we dislike it, and we let that dislike consume our consciousness, then it becomes a workload. And often the perception that the work is a load, that drains our energy far more than the work itself. So we need to know that, and at that time we often start feeling, oh, if only I was in some other situation, doing some other thing, that would be so much better. So if we have one kind of job, if we are working as an engineer, anything, or if I had been an artist, or if I had been a cricketer, if I had been a movie star, things would have been so wonderful. But every profession has its struggle. Krishna tells in 18.48 in the Bhagavad-gita, Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham api natyajet sarvarambha hi doshena dhumena agnirivavataha. So Sahajam karma kaunteya, with every work, sadosham, Sahajam karma kaunteya, according to our nature, work is ordained. And sadosham apinatyajet. Even if it is faulty, do not give it up. Why? Because sarvarambha hi doshena. All work is covered by fault, has fault in it. Dhumen agnir ivavitaha. Just as fire is covered by smoke. So when we light fire, we may not have so much experience of lighting fire nowadays because we use electricity. But when fire is lit, initially smoke comes out, and it is if we run away from the smoke, if we resent the smoke, then we can't get the fire and we can't tap the fire. Similarly, when we become resentful of work, and when we are doing the work, there may be some component we don't like, but there are also things which are good. They give us the results that we need, and we do grow by doing that work. Grow not just in terms of outer earning or outer promotion, but also in terms of our inner determination and our inner culture of discipline. So we do grow by it. So we needn't let the work become a workload. So if we recognize, okay, this is the situation I am in and this is what I need to do. If we are not good at something, and if something can be delegated, if we can delegate something, that is good. And it is also possible that sometimes we may be caught in a incompatible situation, even an incompatible career. And if we need to change track and even change our profession, change our job, yes, that is something which is a long-term change which needs to be gradually planned and systematically executed. And resentment prevents us from even doing that. Resentment prevents us from doing the work, the present work which we have to do, which we need to do, and it dissipates our energy, drains us, and it doesn't help us really in searching for some other work which we need to do. So if we are in a situation where we recognize, okay, this is what I need to do, then by using our intelligence and recognizing that this is what needs to be done, we can avoid the work from becoming a workload. We don't have to carry workload around us. Actually speaking, if we start doing something, often we will find that it's not all that difficult. Often the worry about the work is often worse than the work. So by the worry and the anxiety, worry and the resentment and the irritation that about the work is often worse than the work. So recognizing that this, even if we have our dream job, even if we have our dream career, then also it's not going to be a rose. It's not going to be a cakewalk. Even there we will have to meet deadlines. Even there we will have to face difficulties and adversities. And we can. There is Krishna says sarvarambha hi doshena. All work is covered by fault. So rather than letting the fault consume our mind, we can focus on the purpose that we want to achieve through that work, and in that way we can persevere. So this is a child may resent a toy being taken away, and the child has to study. The child's consciousness is caught in the play, in the toy, and doesn't focus on the book, and that's why book becomes the study becomes a burden. But once the child is decided, okay, now I have to study, and somehow the child tries to cultivate interest and start studying. One starts getting absorbed, and one starts over a period of time enjoying the study also. So like that, if you just put aside the resentment, if we don't, if we or refuse to carry the workload, that doesn't mean that we don't do the work, but we don't let negative perceptions about the work consume our consciousness. And with a calm head, we start doing the work, then we will find that it will be manageable. And also, if it is unmanageably heavy, we will also find an intelligent way to deal with it. Maybe delegate it somewhere else, postpone some things, or adjust some things. We will come up with intelligent solutions for dealing with the work when we are not burdened by the perception of a workload. And especially when we cultivate spiritual wisdom, when we cultivate spiritual consciousness, then we understand that we are eternal souls, and we are connected with we are connected with the supreme spiritual reality, Krishna. And by getting, so we are here and the workload seems to be crushing us. But cultivation of spiritual consciousness through meditation, through prayer, it connects us with a reality higher than the the perceived workload. And by realizing our spiritual nature, by getting rejuvenated by that spiritual experience, we can reject the perception of the load and do the work diligently. Thank you. Hare Krishna.